What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Today we have a holster from Alien Gear. Not any holster. It is a duty holster. Yes, a duty holster from Alien Gear. Who would have thought? It's called the Rapid Force, and it is way nicer than I expected it to be. So, three quick things about the holster before we begin. There's three different versions. There's a compact light version, there's a full-size light version, and there is a slim version as well. So you have a couple different versions. What we have here is the full-size light version we're going to talk about today, but they're all very similar. Second, it's a very modular holster. They have their, man, I'm struggling to remember things today, quick disconnect system. So if you want to do a drop leg, belt height, molly, hard mount, so you can screw in the car, you can take it off and use their quick detach system. What I used, this is the third item, they have a T adapter on here as well that you can get. I bought the T adapter, screwed it in here, and it allows you to use things like the Safariland QLS, and that's what I prefer, that's what I like, so that's what I use for the testing. I have my Safariland QLS on the new Alias belt system accessories from Neomag. I work from Neomag, and this belt system is great. It lets you go from inside the waistband to outside the waistband in just a second or two, and that's why I had it on there, because it's just super convenient. So those are the three quick things I wanted to make sure that I didn't forget to talk about. I do want to start with retention, because with any holster, especially a duty holster, I think top has to be retention. The retention has to be there, and the retention on this holster is extremely good. Whoever Alien Gear consulted with, or if they have officers internally, it's up to 800-pound pull force for retention. Now, I couldn't test that 800-pound thing, but I think the retention is so strong, the stitching on your belt or however you have it mounted is probably going to break before the retention breaks. Of course, we tugged on it, we pulled on it, I put it on my waist and let other people tug and pull on it. We couldn't get it off. The retention is really good. The release buttons that we'll talk a little bit more about in a second are really big buttons, and it takes gross motor skills. You slam it down to release the retention. So if you're in a state of panic or stress, or whatever, adrenaline's flowing and you need to break that retention, the movements are really big, very easy to do it. And the other thing that I thought was slick, it comes with different size buttons, and I thought this was a great idea. We're all different. We all have different size hands. Not everybody is like Mike from Tactical Considerations, my homie. He's like 8 feet tall. He's like a gorilla. He could use the small buttons, and these hands could not use the small buttons. So different size buttons for different size hands. Duh, what a great idea. The other part of the retention I want to talk about is this holster is available in a level 2 or a level 3 holster. And what that means, the level 2 holster, you just have to pull back on the lever to defeat. The level 3, you push down and then back, and the level 3 also has the hood as well. So down and back with the level 3, and with a little bit of practice, it's very natural, very easy. It is obviously slower than, well, for me and my skills, slower than a holster without any retention, but as far as duty holsters, it's just as fast, if not faster, than a Safariland or a Blackhawk or any other duty holsters I've used. I do want to talk about the hood a little bit as well, because the thing I like is when you push down the button, the hood gets all completely out of the way. With some of the Safarilands and Blackhawks, they kind of half get out of the way like that. So when you go to reholster the gun, they're in the way, and you kind of have to use your hand or the muzzle of the gun to get the hood out of the way. So I really like that. When you push down that button, the hood gets completely out of the way. You can reholster your gun and then reset the hood. I definitely prefer that. I mentioned that these are light-bearing holsters, and they will work with different size lights as well. So this is the full-size light version. So I tried Surefire, I tried Streamlight, I tried O-Light, I tried all those different size lights, and it worked in here as well, because again, the retention is based off the ejection port, not off of the light. So that allows you to swap out lights if you need to for some reason. Now, as far as the price, $115 is where it starts with no hardware, and that's not bad for a duty style holster. Duty holsters are definitely more expensive than standard Kydex holsters, because you have the active retention system, so that makes sense. Some of the things you can add, like if you want to go up to a level 3 holster, that goes up $20. If you want to add the optics hood, it goes up $14. If you add any of their quick detach system, those are all a la carte, and the price goes up from there. It's available in plain Kydex or basket weave. If your department still uses basket weave, your superior officer needs a beating. No, I'm not a big fan of the basket weave. Let's let that die. It works for Glock, SIG, Smith, and of course I will put some affiliate links down in the video description because I do like this holster a lot. When we get into testing, you'll see why. And it does work well. Alien Gear did a great job. I never thought I'd say this sentence. Alien Gear did a great job with this duty rig, duty holster. That just blows my mind. All right, testing. So I've had this thing for a long time. I've had this thing for about 6 months, if not longer, because I've never had an Alien Gear holster. This is my first experience, and with the duty holster, I really wanted to make sure it was good to go before somebody, like an officer, put it on and not risk their lives, but trusted their lives to it. I really wanted to make sure I gave it the time it deserved for a very, very serious product. So I had it for at least 6 months. I've used a bunch of different guns, a bunch of different lights, and a bunch of different testing. And when I went to the range, because it was Safariland QLS, it was very easy to snap it on and off at different times. Obviously, I did a lot of drawing from the holster. It's a holster. How do you test it? You test it by drawing from the holster. We did a ton of retention pulls. I didn't get all of them on camera. I apologize. I should have, but we did a lot of pulling from the holster to see if you can break the retention. And again, the retention seems extremely solid. I did do some shooting while laying on the holster, laying on my right side, and then I also tossed it in the air a few times, just a basic durability test to make sure that works. And then as far as guns that I used in there, I used a Glock 17. I used a Shadow Systems. That's the same size as the Glock 17. Actually, this is the Shadow Systems DR920, and the reason I wanted to grab this one, not only does it have this Surefire light, it also has a Holosun 507K, and that's just about the biggest light, biggest optic that I know on the market. And every light I tried, it's very, very solid, but it does fit those really, really big optics as well. The hood has enough space there. Even the PSA dagger, this is a Glock 19 dagger. It works decent, like the retention's good. The battery died because I'm still a noob. I'm sorry. All I was saying is PSA dagger does work. The retention, it just has a little bit more wobble. Wouldn't recommend it for duty. Fine for range use. Let's get into the pros and cons. It's fast. I didn't talk about that enough with testing, but it's very, very fast. These gross motor skills are very, very easy to learn, to press, to open. I find it even easier than that little knob, the little nub on the Safariland Level 2 holster. It's definitely easier. That's why a lot of people replace that nub with the bigger one or make it a bigger one, because these bigger buttons are just very, very easy to smash down and push, and it's easy. It's made in the USA, which is great. We love things that are made in the USA. Yay, yay, yay. The retention is really, really good. Like, we tested the retention, I think, quite a bit, and it's solid. I wouldn't worry about it. I dig the hood, how it gets out of the way and stays out of the way excuse me, when you're drawing, so when you reholster, it's not going to be an issue. What else did I have for pros? I like that one holster works with multiple lights. That's good. That's not something new. That's awesome. Multiple lights, one holster. And I'm happy that they added that T accessories so you could work with Safariland QLS, because their system seems cool, but I'm so committed to the QLS system, it's hard to change. As far as cons, I think the only thing I don't know how I like is how it looks. I don't know how I feel about the looks of the holster. It's not bad. It's not an issue. I think the Safariland may look a little bit more professional. I don't think it's terrible, but what do you think? Get down in the comments. Let me know. Let me hear your thoughts, and we can go from there. All right. Thank you to Alien Gear. Just so you know, they did send this to the channel. It is nice. I do like it, but they did send it for free, just so you know. Remind you of the affiliate links. There'll be some links down there if you want to pick one up. Hook me up. Use those links. If not, it's okay. I love you. Most important, though, thank you for watching. It is greatly, greatly appreciated. If you think I deserve it, like, comment, subscribe, enable the bell notification. You do any of those things, truly helps me out. I definitely appreciate it, and I will see you next time. Peace!